Butter HQ, I'm Paolo del Rosario. This week, we talked about topics that celebrate sustainability and wellness. From using bamboo to build a more resilient future for the Philippines to staying healthy this Amihan season, and how Repamana is addressing textile waste through circular fashion. Let's start off with Base Bahay Foundation and its innovative cement bamboo frame technology. Here's my interview with Mr. Luis Felipe Lopez, the general manager of the Base Bahay Foundation Incorporated.
So Base Bahay was established in 2014 here in the Philippines. It was an initiative on an European foundation called the Hilti Foundation, based in Liechtenstein, as a small country between Switzerland and Austria. And the main idea was to tackle two big problems that humanity has right now. One is the housing gap, so the housing deficit. In the Philippines, we are talking about 6.57 millions of deficit. And aside of that, the other problem that humanity is having right now is climate change. So construction industry right now is responsible of 38% of the carbon emissions every year. And this is because we are using too much concrete and too much steel. So using the materials, sustainable and local materials, we can reduce the impact of the construction in the climate change. So we want to tackle those two problems. That was the inspiration.
Well, you mentioned concrete and steel, but then right now we're also putting bamboo into the mix. When you compare the materials between bamboo, concrete, and steel, what can we glean, what can we use to make sure that the buildings that you do construct, especially the houses, actually are comparable in both strength and durability?
Yeah, so we used to have the wrong conception that bamboo is a weak material. This is because basically you can get it easily, but that's totally opposite. So bamboo is a very strong material, and compared with concrete, has same compression capacity as concrete, but 3 times lighter. And compared with the steel, has a very, very good performance. Also, it's like as better as the best wood that you can get from the forest, but with the difference that grows so fast. Only 3 years you need to wait until bamboo is ready for harvest and use in construction. So with this material, you can build houses that stand typhoons. Let me tell you, we have been built more than 1,500 homes in the Philippines during the last 10 years, and more than 600 have been impacted by typhoons with nothing to report. So we don't have any damage in houses impacted by typhoons. And instead, in terms of the earthquake, for example, this is a very light construction system. So earthquakes affect more the heavy constructions like concrete, and lighter constructions like bamboo or this cement bamboo frame technology performs much better. Our houses in Davao, we have 36 two-story houses in Davao that were impacted by the earthquake last week, and they are intact.
So in other words, we already have proof of concept when it comes to resilience to earthquakes. You mentioned a while ago about the resilience of bamboo, but one of your technologies here, at least basing it on the words, does combine the word cement and bamboo, focusing on cement bamboo frame technology. So what is that exactly, and what makes it unique?
Yeah, so even though I mentioned that cement and concrete is a problem with the carbon emissions, we have to recognize that the properties of these materials are very good. The problem is that we are using those materials in excess. So what we did is we combined the best of every material. In this case, we made the frame, as you can see in the video. The frame is made of bamboo, and we covered the house with flattened bamboo. It's called tat-tat in some of the regions here in the Philippines. And then we have a layer, a very thin skin of mortar cement. With this skin, we protect the house against the environment. The cement helps us to protect the house against the humidity and against all the external factors. With this simple trick, the technology is more durable. The houses can last. Actually, this is inspiring a technology from Latin America that where we have houses more than 100 years old. So the concept of temporary construction with bamboo is not anymore relevant.
You know, when we take a look at bamboo, we also have to look at least the perceived negatives when it comes to using this technology. So bamboo is also hit by pests. You talk about termites, you talk about other factors when it comes to rotting wood of certain trees. Now, when you take a look at that particular aspect of the material, is that still a concern given what you are doing to mix and match different materials to make this a more sustainable option?
Not anymore. Actually, we have invested a lot in research to develop the treatment methods to protect the bamboo against bok and anay, the typical insects that eat bamboo in the Philippines. And with that, we can guarantee the durability and the protection of the bamboos. But you know, every material has its strengths and weakness. For example, steel is super. Nobody is questioning steel, is saying that steel is the poor man's material. But if you don't protect your steel with anti-corrosion and things, it will totally deteriorate it by corrosion in 1 year. So you need to, like in steel, you need to take measures. So you cannot use bamboo that is untreated. You need to use bamboo that is mature enough. So there is some technical aspects that you need to follow and procediments that you need to follow to get bamboo that is high quality for construction. We at BASE follow all those steps to guarantee the bamboo is strong enough, but also protected against insects.
So it is not just as if there's bamboo nearby, we're going to use that immediately and expect the same result as what you are doing with Base Bahay Incorporated. So right now, I'm sure a lot of people are now wondering when it comes to the cost. There's a lot of research that comes into it, a lot of treatment. There's a process, and in fact, there's a certain technology required to put up a house of your particular standards. Just how much more affordable is it compared to conventional materials, or is there an added premium cost because of the process?
That's the better part. Actually, it's cheaper than conventional materials. Our houses and direct costs, I mean, labor and materials, could be between 20 to 30% lower in cost. We're talking about a technology that only allows us to build 1 and 2 story houses, and we can compare this with 1 and 2 story houses made with CHB concrete hollow blocks, and the prices are lower. So we say that, or we can guarantee that the houses are cheaper, resist typhoons, and resist earthquakes. So the full package complete.
What would it take for this particular method to become more mainstream in the Philippines? Is there enough manufacturing capacity to actually cater to a wider range of clientele? And of course, could it be used for commercial buildings as well, compared to what we've seen so far in the footage, which is mostly residential?
Yeah, so 10 years ago, when we started Base Bahay, there was not treatment facilities, technical treatment facilities in the country. So we have a lot of problems to get material with the quality that we need for our pilot houses in Iloilo City at that time. 10 years later, we have helped others to set their treatment facilities with all the standards that we require for our houses. And right now we have 9 treatment facilities across the country. So you can find treatment facilities in Quezon Isabela in the north. You can find treatment facilities in Polomolok and southern Cotabato and Davao. So all the country in Visayas. And these facilities has the capacity to produce bamboos to build 2,000 homes per year. So something incredible. These facilities also can support the local market. We saw because of thanks to these facilities, the new architects and engineers that are involved in bamboo construction now can get materials with the high quality standards that they are looking. So we see resorts popping up, new pavilions and projects that are amazing, and now they have the opportunity to get bamboos with the high quality that they need for their projects.
Sir Luis Felipe, we are at the end of our interview, but before we actually let you go, how can people reach out to Base Bahay Foundation? Because I'm sure there are a few people interested in the material and want to know more.
Yeah, you can reach us to our social media. We are in Instagram, we are in LinkedIn, we are in Facebook. You can contact us if you want to research. Let me just say something. We also have a laboratory in Manila. This is important because we run a technical laboratory in Makati. We work with 7 local universities and 19 international universities. We receive students from all around the world that came to the Philippines to learn how to develop these technologies and how how to incorporate these technologies in their country. So basically, in the last 5 years, when we set the laboratory, we make base of Manila the hub for bamboo research in the world. We have students from Europe, from the US, from Latin America, from Africa coming to the Philippines to learn. So we are putting the direction for the world to incorporate bamboo in building codes. And please contact us if you want to research, but also to the mayors and the local organizations that you believe that this technology can help you to achieve your goals in housing. Please contact us. We are happy to collaborate with you.
When we return, I'll share my conversation with Dr. Jose Rene de Grano on the illnesses to watch out for this Amihan season and how to stay healthy. Weather HQ will be right back. Welcome back to Still Weather HQ. As a cool and dry northeast monsoon or Amihan sets in, we also see a rise in respiratory and skin-related illnesses. To help us understand what to watch out for and how to stay healthy this season, here's my conversation with Dr. Jose Rene de Grano, the president of the Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines.
For the past weeks, we have been witnessing yung mga influenza-like illnesses, and it will continue, I think, until the end of the year. Of course, we're expecting some sensitivity reactions because of the cold weather and dry weather. So we're expecting na mga resurgence naman, usually ng mga asthmatic attacks, those things, and skin allergies. Yes.
Well, you mentioned po yung mga asthmatic attacks and yung skin allergies. Bakit po? Why does it rise kapag cool and dry yung weather na nararanasan natin?
Well, usually doon tumataas yung paglabas ng mga pollens, and then of course with the change in weather conditions, alam niyo naman for this Amihan season, we're expecting colder weather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is especially concerning for yung mga vulnerable population po natin, especially yung elderly and young children who may not have the amount of vaccines needed to combat these things. When you take a look at yung mga grupo po na to, who else do we have to identify or who needs to take extra precaution when it comes to yung mga respiratory illnesses or even the skin-related ones?
Well, of course, yung mga asthmatic talaga, we expect na baka magkaroon sila ng mga matrigger yung kanilang mga allergies. And of course, again, the young people, the 7 and below. And then, of course, the elderlies with comorbidities, usually with pulmonary problems. Like, we're expecting an increase probably of pag hindi natin na control is pneumonia-like illnesses.
Doc, when we look at the preparations that hospitals need to take, because this is not a unique thing. Nakita natin to from year on year that at a certain point, because of yung weather conditions, nagra-rise yung mga cases. Do hospitals prepare for yung eventuality na to, and how is that normally done?
Yes, we've been preparing for this ever since nung mag-COVID, So anyway, we have areas in the hospitals that are prepared or for infectious diseases like this, usually may isolation areas yan so that hindi sila ma-mix with the people na walang infections, So those are the things that we do. The problem right now is because of the resurgence of or increase in this viral illnesses, medyo nagkakaroon ng problems kami in admissions, nagkakaroon ng madaming admissions, and then the problem still is we lack nurses. Yes.
So it's not just to be able to handle it, it's really the lack of nurses that's a problem. And of course, yung mga proseso ng mga ospital when it comes to yung admissions. Sir, when we look at the preventive measures people can actually take para hindi naman sila kailangan pumuntang ospital, the DOH has released a few guidelines including wearing masks when sick, drinking more water. Pero siguro the one thing that I'm looking at here sa mga reminders nila na that is a bit different is using moisturizer po. How does that actually help prevent certain illnesses?
Well, of course, yun nga, aside from, of course, you have to take advantage kung may mga vaccines na available. No? And then the moisturizers, of course, that will lessen the effect of the dryness, or the humidity. And then you know that the viral illnesses usually attack through, droplet infection through the air. And ina-attack nila are the respiratory system. So usually, the upper respiratory illnesses ang lumalabas pagka nitong season.
So what would you say to the people who would say that baka it might be too late to take a vaccine now at the moment habang tumataas na yung mga kaso, or at least those being afflicted by certain illnesses? Because for example, yung sa flu vaccine, normally year on year, umiiba pa yun, nag-update po yun. So what could you say to the people who would not take it right now because they just can wait till a few more months bago yung mas updated na vaccine?
Well, dapat lang is we should take care of ourselves, lalo na yung mga vulnerable na population. Palagay ko, the suggestion of wearing face mask is very good, especially if you'll go to very congested and areas na maraming tao. Yes.
Sir, with the holiday season coming up as well, there's going to be a lot of traveling. A lot of people in mga bus station, mga airports, seaports, and so on. A lot of commuting and just being enclosed in spaces together. Any tips to make sure that the travel is safe and healthy from a health perspective?
I think the best way is to protect yourself is to wear a face mask, I think, and then of course hand washing and those things to keep yourself hygienic.
Sir, right now, nagiging trend yung wellness sa Pilipinas in general, actually all over the world when you talk about health. Do we actually see, or can we expect siguro less cases right now compared to previous years since COVID, considering that more and more people are comfortable wearing masks? Has that been the trend, or has that not necessarily been the case?
I think that is the trend. I think we should not forget na most of these viral illnesses are spread through droplet infection through the air. So wearing masks is, I think, essential in order to protect yourself, and if you have symptoms, in order to protect others also.
Doc, we really appreciate the time that you shared here with us. Right now, is there any message from FAPI to help stay safe and healthy during this Amihan season, and of course, hopefully prevent people from going to hospitals and overloading yung system po natin?
Well, of course, we should keep ourselves healthy, washing of hands lagi, and of course, whenever you sneeze, you cough or whatever, you should always cover your mouth, to prevent a spread of diseases. You may not have the symptoms, but you may be a carrier. So in other cases, those vulnerable people must, I think, wear masks.
After the break, I'll talk to Darius Dars Jaire Huson, the co-founder and creative director of Repamana, about how they're turning textile waste into wearable art. Stay with us. Weather HQ will be right back. Welcome back to Weather HQ. In a world where millions of tons of textiles end up in landfills each year, One Filipino brand is turning waste into wearable art. To learn more about Repamana's mission to address textile waste and redefine sustainable fashion, watch this.
So Repamana started as a thesis collection while I was back in college. So what we do is we mainly transform discarded textiles into fashion statements that tell a story of second chances, giving life to materials and meaning to the people who craft them. So it initially started as a thesis idea, turning it into a startup idea, since realizing that textile waste is rampant, not just in the Philippines, but also worldwide.
Ang ganda nun the story of second chances. So yung Repamana, very unique, very intriguing yung konsepto nito. What does it mean for yung brand philosophy ninyo? Kasi right now using discarded things and ang ganda ng brand storytelling ninyo, but then you also come back and make it Filipino. May konting heritage weave din. Gaano ka-importante yung part na yon? It's not just reusing, pero making something distinctly Filipino also.
Yeah, so the brand is the story behind the brand really grounds on circularity, which is a framework that I think that we should really work on as like as a country, or not just an individual. But really Repamana starts from re means again, and pamana means to inherit. So we really wanted to pass on the ideology of circularity through different generations, from one generation to another. So going into the design process of how we really incorporated like being Filipino is just leaning into everyday ideologies of being Filipino. For example, like how you would look like yung from the nature, like the trees or yung puno, like as you can observe, like parang siyang bark-like texture,
Yeah.
yung kumo techniques, which is crumpled, na I would say very traditional with its classic silhouette, but contemporary in a way of how we transformed it.
Anong feeling mo when you saw Mayor Joy Belmonte wearing yung Repamana piece na may Kumo technology? And however, showing it on screen.
So really the goal is, currently right now we're niching on hotel textiles. So we partner with different what do you call this, different hotel chains around in Metro Manila to retrieve the discarded or condemned textiles from them. Then we transform them using different surface design manipulations such as like crumpling, pleating, and dyeing to elevate the material that has already been discarded into a new one.
Ang ganda kasi again, we're seeing it from discarded material and of course the indigo dye and of course ang ganda ng platform that Mayor Joy Belmonte was able to give yung Repamana wearing that particular piece. Of course, when we're talking about yung textile waste, we always say that fast fashion is really problematic in terms of yung mga textile waste natin. I'm sure you did a lot of research and studying about it, especially when you're doing this as part of your thesis. Kaya gaano ka-importante para sa inyo ngayon that this is an advocacy that you push to continue being responsible, especially considering yung environmental impact ng fast fashion?
Yes, yeah. Currently, in our generation, especially the Gen Zs, our generation are really pushing towards not just sustainability, but really the circularity as well. That we are already in a climate emergence. That that there is only one Earth, and we don't have like a plan B if ever the Earth gets polluted or this planet gets polluted. So it's really like a call out there for not just for a generation, but everyone who lives in this planet that really let's be responsible of how we purchase or consume and be thoughtful and mindful when purchasing like our clothes or garments, and incorporating sustainability in our everyday life.
And Dars, if I'm not mistaken, you're also working with different artisans and communities. So not only trying to be responsible for the environment, but then also reaching out to provide work as well. Can you tell us a bit more about yung proseso po ninyo and what steps are you taking in terms of your manufacturing, to procurement of resources and materials that actually help create jobs?
Yes, that's for the social aspect of it. So we partner with different communities, like vulnerable communities that showcases like local artisans and craft. So like we contact like a team leader or the head of the community.
Mhm.
Then we collaborate with a design and we work it out with sino yung parang nearest hotel partner or hotel chain that can parang donate those textiles, and with that we lead with the design process and how it's being made. Then we transfer the process or the technology within the community of how they want to create the product, so we co-create it with them.
Okay. So what's next for Repamana? Of course, very interesting yung mga pieces in both for men and women, being worn already by politicians, key government figures, and of course, sana ako na next. So when we look at the next projects and collaborations you're looking forward to, what can we look forward to? As we even see Aya Fernandez wearing a piece from Repamana.
Yes. Yes, definitely. As of the moment, we're currently doing due to production challenges. We've been currently doing like bespoke or custom made, like one of one, like really business to consumer type of we've really wanted to the dream really is to expand Repamana, not just accessing different audiences, not just really niching on these type of people, but really go into like a retail.
That's it for Water HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. See you again next week, only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.